Wait for some people to get in here. Doing it a little different today without Slick, so I don't really know how to even work this. What's up, Ken? How's it going? Yeah, sorry it's a little late, guys. I couldn't figure out how to get this thing working. I guess they changed some stuff within YouTube, and it was like asking me for some kind of like streaming software, and then I finally realized I can just go through the internal webcam and stuff, but it never really asked me that before. Oh man, dude, the track was a blast this weekend. It was probably the most fun I've ever had at the track, hanging out with all those guys. uh, we let's just say we did a lot of goofing around, but I got some cool stuff on film, some funny stuff as well. So I do got to get that video edited. I was so tired after last night. We had to drive. I had one trailer. I brought my buddy's car up there as well, so that Tunnel Chaser had something to drive with my buddy Nick from Stang. So yeah, it was tired. I was so tired yesterday after towing my car back home. Then we had to go all the way back to the track to pick up his car, bring it back home. We got done at about 9 o'clock last night, and I was drained. So I slept all last night and then worked all day today. So I got to get some editing done, but I'm excited to edit those videos. Yeah, Xander's video. I did see Xander's video. It was pretty funny, but there's a lot more happened. So we had some fun. Yeah, Ken, you definitely got to make it out with us one of these days. We're converting guys to the track one guy at a time. What's up, Mustang Mike? How's it going? Yeah, I hear you. Family always comes first, man. That's the way it goes. But there'll be a lot more at some point this year, so you just got to get out there with us at some point. Um, I'm not sure. I don't have my next track day planned just yet, but I'm sure it won't be too long before we get back out there, and I'll definitely let you know. But you got to come out there with us, even if you don't bring your car. Just come out, hang out, ride with me. You'll have a blast. I guarantee it. Yeah, most people do love taking curves just as much as drag racing, but the thing is like once you kind of experience like driving your car all out, it's kind of on the track there's straightaways also, so you're still gonna get. I think that's why for everybody you kind of have that epiphany once you get on track that it's like, all right, this makes drag racing boring because it's like there's still straightaways. You can still let your car eat through 4 gears, but then there's everything else along with it, and the fact that you're on track for 20, 30, sometimes even 40 minutes, um, just going all out in your car having a blast. There's really nothing like it. A few people already compared it to owning your own roller coaster this weekend. That's what a few different people said. Yeah, Dallas, definitely, man. You got to bring your GT350. I'm still hopefully planning to do a private track day, and like I said, I will hit you up, and hopefully you can make it out. Bring the GT350. Which, guys, that kind of in the title, like I said, got a little bit of a channel announcement. After this weekend, this is something that I've been thinking like nonstop about for the last couple of years. Um, as some of you guys know, in the last couple of years is when I kind of like converted from drag racing to the track, and I did my first track day. What's up, Underfed Coyote? How's it going, man? I did my first track day ever, a little over 2 years ago, and I knew right then and there. I mean, it was something I was always into. I always did kind of like the sim gaming and stuff like that. I always loved it. But once I did it for real, and like I never really wanted to like seem like I was coming off conceited about it, but I knew from day one like I had a special talent when it came to driving on track. Like I started in the novice group like everybody else did. I was always the fastest one on track, and I didn't really share my experience level with a lot of people because I didn't want it to hold me back. And it was probably a mistake looking back on it now, but I didn't want it to hold me back. And because of that, I've had very little instruction. One of my buddies is a pro race car driver, and I've used him as a personal coach a few times, and he's got me to the point that I'm at today. But other than that, I started in novice group. I immediately went to intermediate group because I was so much faster than everybody in novice. And then I maybe did like two events in intermediate before I got a check ride and got into advanced group. And I've really had very limited instruction since then. And now, in about 2.5 years later, I'm starting to get a lot of people, pro drivers, instructors, people that have been doing this for 20 years, telling me that I need to pursue this on a higher level. And it's a dream of mine. It's always kind of been a dream of mine. So I've decided that I'm definitely going to make a real effort at a racing career. And talking to my buddy who's a pro driver today for a little while, I'm going to go after some club racing. So that's probably going to bring a new car. And of course, I'm going to share the whole entire process on the channel. So that's probably going to mean there's going to be a car coming to the channel. So this isn't going to be an overnight process, guys. It's going to take me time and a lot of money, of course. But there's going to be a car coming to the channel that's probably not going to be a Mustang. The problem is with the Mustang and wheel-to-wheel racing is it's just too expensive. There's nowhere really for me to spec in against competitive racers where you can really you got to fall into some type of spec racing, Miata spec racing, 944 Porsche spec, something where all the cars are exactly the same, something that everybody can kind of afford to race, and also where you know you're really seeing your skill level compared to other people on that level in cars that are very, very close to each other, and they're not so fast that it's easy for there to be a huge gap between one guy and the other. So Miatas, like I said, 944 spec Porsche, BMW, they have some spec racing. So I'm probably going to do SCCA or Porsche Club Racing, something along those lines. And we're going to start a build on a car that I can race, and then we'll start, you guys will follow along on the journey and see how I do. But it's something that I've dreamed about doing my whole life. And this weekend, I had some really, really heavy words of encouragement from somebody that I definitely look up to. So, I'm going to go after it. Underfed coyote. Oh yeah, track day insurance is a killer. I've honestly gotten to the point where I've mathematically decided that track insurance wasn't worth it for me anymore because with the value of my car, it's a stated value policy. So obviously the higher value the car that higher you state the value of the car, the more expensive the policy is. And with the amount of track days that I've done in the past couple of years, I mean I could have put, $15,000 easily into the bank for, any to cover any type of damages. So, obviously knock on wood, if you total a car, that's a whole different ball game. But most of the incidents that you see on track are, a little off and bump into the guardrail. It's not usually a totaled car. Again, you're gambling. There's no doubt about it. But I can't afford to put the insurance on every event, pay for tires, pay for track time, pay for brakes, fuel, traveling. It's just somewhere I gotta cut. I gotta gamble somewhere. I think it takes a special skill, man. I don't have it in me. Anyone? Yeah, Miatas are, like I was saying, they're one of the best ways to really kind of put your skills up against everybody else, and kind of not so much about how fast your car is. It's really about your skill level, and that's why a lot of people turn to Miatas, and also the consumable cost, obviously. What's up, RS3? But yeah, so what that's really going to mean for me, one of the things I've been talking about a lot on the channel in the last year or so was building the R for time trials and time attack and kind of campaigning in time attack. And that was more for fun. Um, I'm gonna have to put that on the back burner. I'm not gonna, I'm still gonna continue with the build on the R, and I still plan on running time trial events with it, but I'm not gonna be at this point. I'm not gonna like, finish the build and do a full year campaign in time trials because after talking to a few people that know what they're talking about, it's just that's not gonna get me anywhere. It's not, time trials aren't, nobody's going to see, because I keep winning time trial events, they're not going to, give me a ride in Rally World Challenge. It's not going to happen. Yeah, the cost of tires underfed is ridiculous. Like I get a decent deal on my track slicks. They run me around $1,600 a set, a decent deal for, comparatively speaking, it's a decent deal. But they're around $1,600 a set, and I can easily burn through a set of, well, I'll burn through the front tires in about 3 or 4 events. So yeah, they don't last long, and the brakes are about $500 a set for front and rear for pads. Trying to keep up with some of the comments here, guys. Just trying to see if I missed anything. Yeah, those monster Miatas are crazy. Those things are insane. I mean, I wouldn't mind building a little Miata track car just for fun, but I think, I'm not sure if I'm going to go after spec Miata. You know, I may be forced into that though. We're just going to have to see what I can afford. Hopefully, like I said, when the GT 500 comes, hopefully I can grow the channel and really start putting a lot of content on a lot of content out on that car, and really grow the channel and hopefully start bringing in some additional revenue off of that. And then we're just gonna have to see where finances fall after I get that car. But I might be forced into a Miata. I mean, bottom line is with the Miatas is that they're there's nothing cheaper to run, and there's nothing out there that offers more options as far as race classes to spec into. Yep, everybody always says that about Miatas. I've actually never been passed by a Miata on track, but I mean, I've definitely been impressed with their pace many times. Yeah, I do remember that the old pushrod 5.0s, and I don't remember the company, but I do remember seeing those all over back in the day in the Mustang magazines and stuff. Yeah, underfed. It's funny. I get that a lot actually. People tell me that all the time. I blame nobody but myself for that. I mean, I have a kind of weird job schedule. And the other thing is I'm juggling too much, and I know I just don't put out enough content. It's as simple as that. Like I think my channel has about 60 videos on it total in like a little over a year that I've really been posting YouTube videos as a YouTuber per se. And I just, most of the guys that have built up, 20,000 subs in a year or so, like Xander, for example. Xander puts out 3 videos a week every week. Not, I mean, it's like, yeah, like Ken said, content, content, content. You gotta bang out the content. I can have the best videos on earth, which I know I don't, but I could have the best videos on earth if nobody knows my channel exists. They're going to get 188 views, and then they're going to die out. And then, if I don't, maybe I'll get 2 or 3 subscribers, but that's why you got to keep pushing out that content, get those 2 or 3 subscribers each time, and it's just a snowball effect. Eventually, it takes off. But it's just tough sometimes. My work schedule is really weird. I have a very free work schedule, but at the same time, I'm almost like a doctor in the sense that it's 24 hours a day. Like I know there is no time that I might not have to work. And then, I have too many projects, too many things going on. Like there's things I don't share on the channel. I have 3 jet skis here. I have the motorcycle, which I share sometimes. I have 3 Mustangs, the truck. It's just I got 3 kids. It's a lot to juggle, and try to put out 3 videos a week like I know I should. But I blame that for why my channel hasn't grown. Yeah, I did see that video, and I was thinking I can't remember who. I just watched a video recently, and somebody was just showing that same place. But yeah, that's like my dream to have like a place like that, like a house you could rent on the freaking right on a track with a road course, a drag strip, all that stuff, man. That would be that's the American dream right there. Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope the GT 500 content does well. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people searching for that content once that car hits the scene. So as long as I can get one early enough and my dealer doesn't screw me over on that deal, so I'm super excited for that GT 500, man. Like that thing is going to be insane on track. Like it's especially coming off the off season. It's the first time I've had the R out since last October, and you almost forget how insane that car really is, like how well it does on track. And to think that that car is going to have 200 horsepower more and have the grip capabilities of the 350R, I can't even imagine how insane it's going to be. I help run an email marketing company. So I work from my computer all the time. So I don't really have to go to the office every day or anything like that. I can work from home, which I do mostly. But it's 24 hours a day. I mean, we push out email campaigns, and they constantly need to be monitored, and they some of them deploy, at any given hour. So we have campaigns that deploy pretty much 24 hours a day. So it gets stressful, to say the least. Yeah, yeah, I get that a lot too. The cars. It's like a first world problem, what they say. It's like I love every one of my cars. I've loved every car I've ever had, to be honest with you, especially all my Mustangs. But it's like now it's almost like I'm cursed with not wanting to get rid of any of them. You know what I mean? It's just like I really I can't juggle them all. I can't finish the projects that I want to do. I can't afford all the mods I want to do to them all. Where really I could really be enjoying one car the way I would love to do it, but I got to have my cake and eat it too. I'm a big baby when it comes to that stuff. I don't, I'll be the first to tell you. Oh yeah, and that's underfed. That's what I'm really hoping for when it comes to the GT 500. That I know there's going to be a lot of people that have them, but I'm really hoping that I'll be one of the few people where you can come and see the thing being used the way it's meant to be used. And when it does come, like not to make excuses now, because I got 3 cars and there's definitely content I could put out, but it's almost like it's all been done, and I feel like I just don't want to be that guy. Like I'm just putting out a video that 88 other people have already done. When the GT 500 comes, I know I'll be motivated to make 3 videos a week, because there's not going to be 88 videos already out on how to install an intake on the damn thing, or how to put springs on it, or what might be a good mod for it. It's even if there's 1 or 2 videos, maybe not that big a deal, but Yeah, sometimes I have a cameraman that can help out, and sometimes I don't. And definitely, I do notice that my videos suffer whenever I don't have a cameraman to help out with shots from outside the cars and things like that. Thanks, Victor. Tennessee. I'm from Florida, so I came to Tennessee for work. So I came to Tennessee. Um, Funny thing is I didn't come here for email marketing. Um, I used to do custom paint work on cars, and also, I did a lot of performance modification. I had my own shop down in Florida, and a guy that my mother was working with as a partnership in this email business was building a SEMA car, and the one of the shops that was working on it just wasn't getting it done. It wasn't going the way they wanted, so he brought me up here to help oversee and help with that build. Long story short, the build never got finished. It was kind of a big falling out on the whole thing, and I started working in the business here, and I helped out and helped turn the business around and started bringing in a lot of money, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And I haven't left Tennessee since. I would love to go back to Florida one day. There's no doubt about that. But I've gotten to the point where I'm happy with being here. We finally found ourselves a nice little place here on little old Hickory Lake, they call it. It's a pretty big lake here, and we got, like I said, we got ourselves a boat and a couple jet skis. So now I'm kind of getting old in the sense that I don't mind just being out here in the middle of nowhere and just have our little boat on the lake or whatever, and do my track days once every other month. I can live with that. Slick, I don't know if Slick was in here or not. Are you in here, Slick? Slick was feeling a little under the weather today, so he wasn't able to do the live stream with me today. But we might be back in business next week. We'll see. Yeah, Tennessee ain't bad. It's just I'm so, I grew up, I was born in Florida. I grew up mostly in Florida, but also in big cities like New York and Cleveland. So life was always pretty fast paced for me. So coming to Tennessee, and you got a lot of Southerners, and everything's slower, and people just are different. I don't know. Like I said, now I've been here 5 years, almost 6 years now, so I like it now. I like it, but at first it was definitely a big, I guess you'd call it like culture shock. I'm from South Florida, so I'm from like Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area is where I was mostly brought up. Hey, there's Slick. What's up, Mike? Well, see, I mean, that's just it. Like, I was born in Florida, and then shortly after we moved to New York. But my entire family, everybody in my family, I'm the only one that wasn't born in either Jersey or New York. So my entire family, that's I was brought up by New Yorkers and Jersey. Um, so yeah, we're a little bit different when it comes to like the way we talk and our attitudes and things like that. Not necessarily in a bad way, but I guess like people from most southern states, most of the rebel states, they take it a little differently. They take our humor as assholes. So it takes a little while to learn how people interact with each other. Yeah, we've talked to Tunnel Chaser a little bit, underfed about coming on. He's just super busy on. He's like weeknights are really rough for him, and that might have been one of the reasons why their podcast didn't work out. But I'm with you on that one, man. I love that podcast. I looked forward to it every Wednesday night. So I was upset when that stopped as well. Yeah, I had some friends in Delray as well. Yeah, I'm familiar with the area. Yeah, Yankee accent a little. Yeah, I'm at the point now where I used to have it really bad, but I've gotten to the point now where it's only like certain things that I say where it's really like I say bull. Most of it's faded away though. Yeah, that's just it. They don't get us. They don't realize we're just messing around. We're just trying to be fun. You don't have to take everything so seriously. Yeah, Nick from Track Stangs is on here. He was with us this weekend. Yeah, see, it probably took you a little while to get used to my humor, right, Nick? But you get me after a while. You realize I'm just fucking around. Next track day is not planned just yet, but no fear because I never spend too long away from the track, so it won't be too long. I really want to get out to Road Atlanta soon. Next is tires and rear wing. Once I get the tires and that rear wing on the car, I really got to get back out to NCM again because NCM is kind of like my baseline. It's the track that I have the most laps on. I know it really well, and I know exactly where my car should be there or was there, I should say. So if I do something to the car, like finish off the aero and put new tires on it again, that's the one place where I can go lay down a lap time and know whether or not what I did had any effect on lap time. So that might be next on the list. Yeah, there's a ton of performance shops down there in Florida. Man, that was one thing like when I was a kid, I always wanted to, and I did, but I always wanted to have a Mustang performance shop. And the thing was in Florida, it was like you're competing with so many, not only so many shops, but so many huge shops that like you just can't compete with. So it's one thing another thing that I would always love to bring to the channel one day, if I can get it big enough is I would love to buy another shop and do it here because I think here there really isn't any there aren't any really good Mustang shops like, Mustang specialist shops in this area. But there are a lot of people that have Mustangs and like to modify them and there's also a lot of people that don't know how to really work on them. So I think here it wouldn't be a bad business venture. Yeah, I'm trying. I want to get Ken up here at Beach Bend too, underfed. I'm always I like eighth mile. I like all racing, but to me, it's like eighth mile. It's for me. It's just for me personally. But I just don't. It doesn't translate the same to me. So when I see a quarter mile time, like I know exactly what that means to me. When I see an eighth mile time, it doesn't exactly. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess that's quick, but I'm not sure. I'm starting to get a little bit better with kind of figuring out where, but I still see a lot of variables where one car will do. I guess it's just some cars are faster in the first half and some cars are top half cars, and maybe that's why I see so many variables there. Yeah, that sucks, Dallas. Road Atlanta is that one track that everybody kind of knows is the one that'll bite you. Um, but it's also, man, that's a man's track right there. And I want to get out on that track so bad. After going to Petite Le Mans there and seeing those things come down the back straight and that 160, 170 mile an hour downhill braking zone, like into the little S's. Like, oh my god, it's just that's the kind of track that separates the men from the boys. All right, I'll see you later, RS3. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. Yeah, Coda is definitely another one of my bucket list tracks. So it's a track that I will definitely get to at some point, but it's obviously it's far and it's just budget at this point. Like Coda is, I'll say, top three tracks that I want to go to. It's for me. It's Road Atlanta, VIR, and Coda are probably my top three. Maybe like Watkins Glen is right up there with any one of them, but I could just as easily throw Watkins Glen into that top three list. But definitely a track that I got to get to at some point. I mean, and just saying you've ran on a track that Formula One runs on is just something that's really cool. Yeah, yeah, Ken, I know. And then a lot of guys, that's usually what I do when I when I do run eighth mile is I find somebody like you and I say, hey, what would this be in the quarter? Top five tracks? Top five tracks that I would like to drive on that I've yet to drive on would probably have to be like I just named Road Atlanta, and not in any particular order, but Road Atlanta, VIR, Watkins Glen, Coda, and then if I could afford it, Laguna Seca. Have to be Laguna Seca. But that requires traveling all the way across the country to California. But if I could afford it, I would maybe even have to move Laguna Seca up to the number one track. That's the one when I was a kid that I, would constantly drive in like Gran Turismo and Forza and stuff like that. That's the track that was my favorite track before I'd ever been on it or on a real track. Lime Rock's a track that I definitely would like to get to. I do a lot of simming in Lime Rock. Me and Vince, me and Tunnel Chaser have talked already about possibly me coming up towards him for the next track day, and that won't be one that I would think we would put on our list. So New Jersey Motorsports Park, Lime Rock, Watkins Glen. I would say one of those three is what I would like to suggest that me and Tunnel Chaser do in the future. Well, underfed, we actually experimented this weekend for the first time with something that'll be really cool if we can figure out how to integrate it into my YouTube videos. But thanks to Nick at Trackstangs, who was just in the chat here, he bought a GoPro Fusion and we mounted it not only in my car, but we mounted it in his car on top of the roll cage. And we got some really cool shots inside of my car as well. But the shots on top of the roll cage are freaking amazing. So his car is a convertible, and it obviously it's got a full roll cage. So we put the Fusion. The Fusion is a 360 VR camera, in case you didn't know. But we put the Fusion camera on top of the roll cage, so you can literally, like, when you look at the footage, you just hold your phone, and any way you turn it, you can see on the track, and it is so cool. But so we want to do some more experimenting with that. But that's the plan, is to give you guys footage where you can literally look where you want to look. So instead of me just mounting the camera and you got to look at me, or you got to look at my hands, or you got to look out the windshield. You look wherever you want to look. You just turn your phone, and that's what you'll see. And what I'd like to do is mount it. We're just experimenting at this point, so we were just mounting it on our cages. But I would like to figure out a way to mount it so that you're sitting in the passenger seat. Why is this turning green on me again? But yeah, I'd like to mount it to where basically you're sitting in the passenger seat, so you guys will have um, basically first person virtual reality type sitting in the passenger seat with me. Speaking of which, if you're still in here, Nick, I forgot when you were just over here to pick up the trailer. I need to get that footage from you so I can see if there's anything I can do with it. Yeah. Yes, definitely underfed. And again, even with the VR stuff, I want to have cameras outside the car, one facing forward and at least one facing backwards. I haven't gotten to that point yet because you'd be surprised. I mean, this time, like one time, we had five cameras in my car, and I still didn't have every angle that I would like to have had. So it's just like we had one on the windshield facing like me and whoever was in the passenger seat. Um, we had one mounted on the cage facing outside and looking into the cockpit so you can see what we're doing, and outside the windshield we had one on the passenger side quarter panel kind of looking at the tire and stuff like that. And then we had the fusion in there mounted to the cage as well, so we had like four or five cameras on the car, and still, I didn't have that rear facing camera. Like it's just it's at the point where you need like $3,000-4,000 worth of GoPros to get the shots you want. But hey, that's what we're trying to bring here. So at some point we will get there, and I want to be the one that I want to bring the best track footage on YouTube. I mean, that's really my goal. Road America. Yeah, dude. You know what? I'm surprised. I forgot to bring up Road America. It's hard, honestly, for you to make me name five tracks. That's not cool, man. Like, there's so many tracks I would love to go to, and it's hard to pick five tracks. And I guess actually thinking about the five I named, other than Laguna Seca, I'm kind of naming stuff that's realistic for me to, real close for me to get to. Road America is actually not too far at all. I believe it's Road America's in Wisconsin or Illinois? I think it's Wisconsin, right? But I know it's not too far. I think it's within like 9 hours or so from me. And again, like Road Atlanta, Road America is one of those old school tracks where, cars weren't as fast back then, so they built the tracks a lot faster. Now these cars are so fast, so those tracks are almost, insanely dangerous. They're so fast, which is what makes them so awesome. So did you ever Nick, um did you ever get the GoPro app to kind of like extract the footage as a 360 video? Have you gotten that far with it yet? Yeah, Road Americas. Again, it's another track that I like to sim on a lot. I love Road America. I love the kink. That's my kind of like for me on track. Like I love super fast corners. I'm not the kind of guy that likes like hairpins and just like constant like heavy cornering. I like super fast, like how big are your balls kind of corners. Yeah, Wisconsin. That's what I was thinking. Wasn't sure if it was Wisconsin or Illinois, but I knew it was somewhere around there. Let's see if I missed any comments here. Guys, if I miss any of your comments, don't be afraid to just like re-comment. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with them. Yeah, see, like Road Atlanta used to be. I mean, it's still stupid fast on that back straight, but they used to not have that little like the S's there at the bottom of the hill. It used to just come off that back straight and then go straight up over the hill. And from what I understand, and a lot of people lost their lives there, but that's the kind of corner that just doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, that's what you're doing now, trying to extract it in the GoPro app. Yeah, I can't wait to actually watch that because I didn't really get to see much of it, but from what I saw, I can tell how awesome it's going to be. I can't wait to see it on something bigger than that little phone. That's what we got to figure out, man. That VR footage, and it's something. At first, it's kind of like it was new and not a lot of people, but now it's like, and I didn't realize, like you were telling me, that you can view that on your desktop as well or on your laptop by just dragging with the arrows. See, I wasn't aware of that. But so with that being the case, and the fact that anybody can just pick up their phone and you don't need a VR headset, guys, to view this. You just push it to 360 mode on your phone, and just as you turn the phone, you can see whatever you want to look at. So it's really really cool, and it's going to make for some awesome track footage. That's probably, honestly, Nick, that's probably what we should be mounting on the roof, because if we're looking for rear facing footage and front facing footage, I mean, that's going to get you everything we need. I would probably just forget about the suction cup mount and just go ahead and put a sticky mount on there, because those things are rated for some pretty serious speed, where I think those suction cup mounts are only good for like 120 mile an hour or something like that. I was so nervous. That was the first time I've ever put a suction cup mount on the side of my car. And then Vince is like, "Yeah, I think it's rated for 120, and I know I do a solid 135, sometimes even close to 140 on that track." So I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is a good idea." He's like, "Oh no, don't worry about it. The lens, it just twists off and you put a new one on." I'm like, "Oh, is that it?" Yeah. That's if they can retrieve my camera off the track for me. Yeah, I like those. It's funny you say that, because when I bought my Oculus, I started watching some of those 360 horror like movies. Those are fun, man. Those are cool. I like them, but they're cool when you actually have like a real VR headset. They're you get pretty immersed in there for a second. You forget it's not real. It gets you on your phone. Yeah, yeah. The 360 videos in for track stangs. You can see what I'm thinking about here. But yeah, the 360 videos for track footage is obviously like a no brainer. I just have to figure out if it's possible to somehow integrate that into a regular vlog style video. Like, is there a way to make it to where I can have an intro to the video? Hey, what's up, guys? Whatever, 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 and then you know you have to be looking forward to view that, because that's not filmed in 360. So I have seen before where 360 videos do have like an intro, and if you look right or left during that intro, you see nothing but black. So I'm assuming that it is possible. I just don't know how to do it yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there, and once we do, we'll definitely have some of the best track footage on YouTube. What's up, John? How's it going? What's up? 45 minutes. Yeah, this will probably just be a short live stream tonight. It's a little bit different. I'm used to going live with Slick, and he usually runs live, so I was a little late. Wasn't really prepared. Yeah, the 18. Um, this week is it this weekend, Ken? Yeah, it's May. I think. Yeah, it's this weekend. Ford Takeover. So I plan on getting out there with Speed Addict 731, and we'll be doing some eighth mile hits on the nitrous on the 150 shot, and we'll see at least we won't get that 10-second time slip we're looking for, obviously, because we're doing eighth mile, but we should have a number that would translate to quarter mile number, and we'll also be able to verify that the nitrous is working consistently all the way through the pass, at least for half track of what would be a quarter mile pass. So this weekend we will definitely be back in the 18, making some hits on the nitrous, and then the following Tuesday we'll be at the track, weather dependent, of course, at Beach Bend again, going for that 10-second time slip. So it'll be a busy weekend. Busy next week, I guess you could say. So we got a couple videos. I'm hoping to turn this weekend into at least 2 videos. Sometimes it might just be one long video. We'll see how, what kind of what all I have for footage. But I'm hoping to have like 2 videos that I can put out this week for you guys from last weekend. And then we'll have Ford Takeover this weekend with Speed Addict. And then Tuesday we'll be back at Beach Bend, hopefully finally getting that 10-second time slip. And then we are going to be finishing the Cobra. I got pretty much all the parts for that. I just need to get off my lazy butt and do it. And then I also got some stuff I need to be ordering for the 350R. We are completely out of tires now. We are completely out of brakes. And I definitely need that rear wing after this weekend with that insane GT4 aero. I'm telling you, that aero really works. Anything over 100 miles an hour, the rear is just like doing this. So all right, you're gonna drop off so you can watch. Yeah, definitely try to figure that out, and then you could show me how to do it. And I might have to buy one of those. At first, I was kind of like, yeah, I'll just borrow yours, but man, that thing's so cool, man. I might need to get one of those and play with it myself. That thing is really cool. What's up, the animal? How's it going? Glad you were able to make it in. We've been running for 49 minutes now, so and it's probably going to end it here in a few minutes. So it'll be posted on the channel if you want to go back and watch. But basically, we were just talking about this weekend at the track and plans for the channel in the future. Gonna be giving it a shot at wheel to wheel racing soon. So we'll probably be building a non-Mustang on the channel to go wheel-to-wheel racing with. And just talking about drag racing the 18, and that's about it so far. So yeah, guys, if nobody else has any questions, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream for tonight. But and honestly, guys, this will probably be the last Monday for the live stream. I'm not 100% sure on if Slick and I are still going to be doing the live streams together or not. But I will still be going live from time to time regardless. But even if we do, even if we do continue to do the live streams, do decide to continue going live every week, I'm probably going to move it to like Wednesday. Wednesday works a lot better for me. Monday and Tuesday is really not a great night for me to do it. So if anything, you might see a live stream next Wednesday, but I will definitely update you guys on YouTube and on Instagram one way or the other. So thanks a lot. Yep, thanks Underfed. Thanks Danimal. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you guys next time. How do I end this?